Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome today to another episode of the LS Album Reviews. Today we're talking about a record of a band that we've covered in the past. I don't really need to give them another introduction, it's in the title, so obviously you should know who we're talking about by now. We're talking about INXS. Now today we're talking about their third album, entitled SHABOOH. I always love that album art. I could never tell whether it was a photo or a painting. But yes, their 1983 effort SHOOBAH, and I wouldn't be Mikki if I didn't have it on cassette. I only own this one on cassette. So yeah, we're talking about SHABOOH today. It was released on October 13th, 1983. It was recorded at Paradise Recording Studios and it was recorded at Rhinoceros Recording Studios. I believe only the first single, The One Thing, was recorded at Paradise Studios. Now, back in 1982, INXS started to get a little bit, I guess you could say, upset with their record label Deluxe. They were a bit too cheap, I guess, to push some singles off of Underneath the Colours. So Underneath the Colours only really got one single and it didn't get an international release. So they were looking for a label that could get them an international release, and they ended up getting one with Atlantic, I believe. In Australia, their distribution, I'm pretty sure, was with Warner. WEA, I believe it was called at the time, the company. Anyway, they ended up getting a new record deal and releasing SHABOOH. So SHABOOH was actually the first INXS album available in the States, and to a lot of the American audience that like INXS, that's probably the first album you're familiar with, or maybe even the album that you think is their genuine first album, but it's not. Covered the first two and the other two videos, so if you're interested in those, go back and check out what I have to say about those. So yeah, but we're looking at SHABOOH today. Now, yeah, INXS got a new record deal. They are on Atlantic with this one. Hit number 5 on the Australian ARIA charts, where it stayed there for 94 weeks, and also appeared on the Billboard Top 200 chart. So I believe it also spawned one of INXS's first top 40 singles in The One Thing, which I believe was very, very popular over there at the time. Now, this record is, again, another departure from what Underneath the Colours was, and it's a hell of an evolution in terms of sound quality and also songwriting. The sound quality, the album's produced by Mark Orpitz. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Mark Orpitz. Now, I believe he is an Australian producer. He's produced actually a couple of their records. I think later on he produced, I believe, maybe Welcome to Whatever You Are. So he is a competent producer, and this record does sound a lot better sonically than Underneath the Colours did, and it's not as dry as their very, very first record. So that's where they already get some points there with the sound of the record and also the songwriting. The songwriting is not as experimental this time. It's a little bit more, I guess you could say, pop-oriented in terms of the way that the songs are structured and stuff like that. But the melodies, again, absolutely amazing. INXS can't be beaten on melodies. So we'll start with the songs. The One Thing. The One Thing is the first single off their record. Now, The One Thing is actually a pretty cool little song. It sort of reminds me of like a Rolling Stones-esque sort of tune. Like the way Michael sort of swaggers about throughout the song is very, very Mick Jagger. Like the way you move, just what you do to me, the way you look, soft and a slippery, cut the nap just like a razor, the way you touch, and that's the day. Yeah, it gets really, really catchy after a while. You don't really like from very, very first listen, you wouldn't really think it was going to be a single, but honestly, it's one of those ear-catching songs that you just can't get over. After a while, you'll find yourself singing it without even thinking about it. So the second song on the album is actually probably my favorite song off the record, and it's one of my favorite INXS songs. INXS songs. It's called To Look At You. Now, I love this song. It starts off with a 4 on the floor type of thing, and it's very, very mysterious with the synths coming in, just playing like a little da-na-na-na-na. And it starts off very, very mellow and almost gives you the feel of like, you know, you're sort of walking alone at midnight, sort of like, you know, searching for something. And then Michael comes in with the lyrics, what is the name to call for a different kind of girl who knows the feelings but never the words? It's absolutely amazing. And then the chorus, to look at you and never speak. It's so good for me tonight to look at you and never speak. It's so good for me tonight. It's one of my favorite choruses that they've ever written. And yeah, it's just a very, very mysterious song. Michael's writing on that is absolutely amazing. It's poetry. And yeah, it's something that you play for your girlfriend. So yeah, that's a great song. I love it. Now, the next song is Spy of Love. I love this song because it's got a bit of like a different sort of vibe to it, like sort of beat to it. Like the drums aren't sort of really too straight with this song, right? It's more of a bouncy sort of song, more of a bouncy sort of like upbeat sort of, yeah, happy sort of song. I'm not really too versed in what the lyrics are about. I haven't really read the lyrics for this song, but yeah, it's a fun little track, and for track 3, it works pretty well. It's a very, very strong song. Now, the next song is Soul Mistake. Now, after To Look At You, this would actually probably be my second favorite song off the record. It starts off with a little doo-doo ka doo-doo ka doo-doo ka doo-doo ka, with the guitars going down 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 down. And Michael Hutchins' vocal line is very, very laid back on this song, like a da na 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 na, with the bass line just chugging along while with the drums pulsing in the verse. It's absolutely amazing. I love that. And then it comes in with a pre-chorus that sort of builds tension. And the melody's sort of like da na 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 na. And then again it opens up with probably another one of the greatest INXS choruses that I've ever heard. Michael's just on his poetry game. It goes, she said this was a lesson in love. She said this was a love to end our loves. This soul never listens to me. This soul has a lot to learn. Yeah, it's just, it hits you right there. Trust me, if Drake sang that shit, it would go platinum. All right, if Drake wrote that shit, it would go platinum. Now, the last song on side A is a song that I like pretty well. It's called Here Comes. It's a bit of a fast beat song. It's I don't know if it's got like a political message to it, but it's got some lyrics that I like in the song. My favorite lyric in the song is Here Comes God's Top 10. That's actually like, that's spitting some bars, spitting some real bars, because yeah, you guys did make God's top 10 music. But yeah, I love the chorus to that one as well. Find some questions to the answers, dance in flames of romances. It's not even really a chorus because like it just goes from verse to like that tense bit that I just sang for you just then. And yeah, so that's pretty good for side one. I have to say side one's pretty strong. Now, side two, on the other hand, again, I wouldn't say it's weaker this time. I'd have to say it's probably just as strong. This is a very, very well-rounded record in terms of how many songs are on the record and the quality of them and how they stack up against each other. This is a pretty well-rounded record in terms of all of that. So on side two, we start with Black and White. Now, I love how this song starts. It starts, I'm pretty sure, with the bass, down, out, and it's got the drums down, out, down, out, down, out, down, out. Could be clear, black and white, make a decision. Got a little sun, I don't know why. A strong feeling that grows and grows. One day, my life was out there. It just busts into the chorus like 4 bars after the song starts. I love that. That's honestly awesome. So yeah, check out that song. That song, I'm pretty sure, might be another one of the singles off this record. I'm pretty sure the singles are The One Thing to Look At You and Black and White, but I could be mistaken. Could be something completely different. The next song after that is Golden Playpen. Golden Playpen is a song that starts off pretty upbeat tempo as well, like most of the other songs on this record. Starts off with some guitar strumming. But I love the very, very first lyric of this song. I'm drunk, can't see my glass. But it's just the way Michael sings it, and then the guitar hit after it. I'm drunk, can't see my glass. Dun, dun, dun. There's a bit of delay on the guitar after it. That's what it feels like to be drunk. Captured so perfectly, sonically with music. So yeah, I really, really love that song. I believe that song may have been written by Kirk Pengilly, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Golden Playpen is pretty much good for middle of the album. Like, you know, you won't get bored with that song. It doesn't go for too long, and it's also not too annoying. The next song after that is Jan's song. Now, this is a bit of a different song. This one's a bit more, I'd have to say, on the experimental side, and also it seems like it's leaning to more of the political spectrum. The song sort of starts off with some saxophone and some drums, doing that sort of thing. And the song's about a lady that, you know, she's calling from the rooftop. She wants the world to hear her people's needs, her basic rights. So she sounds like a political activist talking about, you know, something. I always imagined Jan to be an Aboriginal lady in the 80s campaigning for her people's rights. And if that's what INXS were going for, well, they were pretty forward-thinking and all that sort of stuff to write a song about that in the 80s when not many Aussie bands, especially white Aussie bands, were talking about things like that. So, yeah, I like that song. That's a really, really good song. It's got a good message to it, and I'd highly recommend checking that out. Now, we're at the second last song, Old World, New World. Now, this one's a bit more like something off underneath the colours in terms of what's on the lyrics. It's about cities getting built, cities coming down, the new world taking over the old world, people, civilization, all that sort of stuff, and I guess the wonder of it. It's a very, very fun song as well, with a bit of a fun chorus to it, and I believe it fades out. Yeah, it's a nice little second last song. before we get to the Big Kahuna, now this is honestly one of INXS's biggest songs. Don't Change. What an album closer. Honestly, if there's any song you could close your album with, like everyone else on the planet has to be like, every other musician on the planet, should I say, would have to be somewhat upset that they didn't write Don't Change, because that is a hell of an album closer. Don't Change, it's an iconic song. I don't even think I really need to say too much else about it, because you've probably heard it. It is an extremely famous song, and it came on this little 1983 record here that they recorded in Sydney. I believe it was one of the last records that they recorded completely in Sydney. So, yeah. But anyway, that was my album review of SHABOOH, the 1983 INXS record. In terms of INXS and their records, I'm going to give it a... This is good. I'm kind of stumped right here. I'm going to give it a 6. Right, so like I thought it was all right. So yeah. Anyway, that was SHABOOH. There it is on the original cassette. I hope you guys enjoyed me rambling on incoherently. I hope you guys come around for the next album review. I have been Mikki from Alive Like a Suicide. Be sure to go listen. Be sure to go listen to Shell Shocked and stream it for us, and text Triple J and go comment on the Short, Fast and Loud Instagram page all about your favourite band that no one knows about. I have been Mikki. You have been awesome. Au revoir.